students in Letterland today. We have new spelling words. Here are our review words. We have through, choose, viewed, shadows, and midnight. Through, you walked through the door this morning. Through. Choose, you get to choose your own book to read. Choose. Viewed, tell us what Jack viewed when he got to the top of the beanstalk. Viewed. Shadows. Shadows appear when an object blocks light. We can make shadows with our hands to make puppets. Shadows. Midnight. What are you usually doing at midnight? Midnight. Here are 5 new spelling words. City, cities, study, studied, studying. City. Which is bigger, a city, town, or village? If you said city, you are correct. City. Cities. Let's name a few cities. Here are very popular cities in the United States. There's Miami, Denver, New York City. A city close to our home is Charlotte, and we live in the city of Kannapolis. Cities. Study. What is something you would like to study one day? Study. Studied. What is something we have studied this year? Studied. Studying. What are we studying right now in science? Right now we are studying landforms in science. 5 more spelling words are copy, copied, reply, replying, and replied. Copy. Is it okay to copy someone else's paper? No, it's not. Not unless you're copying some notes or something like that. Copy. Copied. I copied the notes from the board. It means you already did that. Maybe this morning. You copied. Reply. If I ask you what you're looking forward to today, what would you reply? Reply. Replying. When you answer me, you are replying, or I am replying. Replying. Replied. When you give me your answer, it means you replied. So after you already gave me your answer, that means you replied. Our rules for today are sounds of Y. So my sounds like Mr. I, my. Tiny sounds like Mr. E. The Y sounds like Mr. E. My tiny yellow tricycle. And you can see that there's that Y also in tricycle. So remember, Yellow Yo-Yo Man, in addition to his job selling yo-yos, Yellow Yo-Yo Man works for Mr. I, Mr. E, and even carries ink bottles. So which sound of Y do you hear in these words? Cycle. You hear Mr. I there. Gym. You hear Mr. I. The next rule, changing Y to I. So you have spy plus ed, berry plus, when there's more than one berry, there's es, hurry. When you want to add the ing to the end, you do not have to change. So what does a final Y change to I when you add a suffix? So if you add ed or es, you change that Y to the suffix and you put an I in front of it. If it is, the suffix does not change Y to I, it's whenever you're adding the ing. I know it can be a little tricky, but come back to this slide. It'll really help you if you have any questions when you're doing your word sort. So remember, just when you're adding ing at the end, you do not change it. But if you're adding like ed or es, you change the I to es. And for the word sort today, I did a few for you. So for es, for cities, okay. So make sure you say the word before you write it under the suffix that matches, and say the word again. If a word has a Y, write it under the sound of the Y. So just like city has a Y at the end, but has the E sound, but reply has Mr. I. So that's why it goes over here. And remember to refer back to the slides if you have any questions, or also ask your teacher. Hope you have a wonderful day.